Welcome everybody to Facebook Live, Breathwork Edition every Friday. I'm your host, R. Christian Minson, here talking today about the three keys to powerful transformation. I am a certified transformational breath facilitator for the last 13 years, senior trainer with the Transformational Breath Foundation. I'm a speaker, author, and currently in pursuit of finishing up another book. That's been a long-term project. I'm a former director of breathwork at the Rhythmia Life Advancement Center in Guanacaste, Costa Rica. Hopefully, Costa Rica starts letting people back in soon and they can get started. Powerful retreat center. Was happy to help the breathwork program get launched and really fully established. I'm a former monk of 10 years, spending 10 years in a deep spiritual study and practice, which has really shaped and formed the way that I view life and then the way that I coach and help people through life, whether through verbal coaching or through the breathwork sessions that I can have virtually or in person. Basically, that makes me your catalyst for awakening and transformation towards a greater life of peace and fulfillment. And that's what these Facebook Lives are here every week, is take some aspect of life, look at it from a spiritual perspective, and see how it can evolve your life so that you can be happier, healthier, more emotionally resilient. Speaking of which, I have an announcement. I will be in the Power of Emotional Resilience mini online summit starting next 23rd through 26th of June. 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th. Each day, one speaker. I'm the third one. I'm the third one there. So the 25th, that's Wednesday the 25th. I believe it's around 11 a.m. my time, so 10 a.m. Pacific. The host lives in Israel, so it's an evening time in Israel. But each day, a speaker at that same time for an hour. All the details will be in the liner notes of the recording of this. But go onto my Facebook page and you'll see I've got it posted, The Power of Emotional Resilience. Sign up or get ready for that. It'll be a Facebook Live broadcast. Tune in, absolutely free. And I will be giving a breath session during that. In that hour's worth of time, a large portion of that time will be dedicated to an actual breath session. So come ready to breathe, find a place to lie down and all that, and join us. Again, that's next week, June 23rd through 26th. I'm on Wednesday the 25th, around 10 a.m.-ish Pacific time, which is 3 p.m. Eastern time, which is whatever time in your zone. All right, so welcome. Today, 3 keys to powerful transformation. This is with a focus on breath work. You know, I could say there's 3 aspects of our being, 3 God-given aspects of our being that help with healing and transformation, and that is breath, sound, and movement. And I am interested in all 3 of those. All 3 of those, if we really worked with our breath, our ability to make and generate sound for healing purposes, and movement, again, for healing purposes, probably 95% of all of our ailments would be dealt with, and then we have doctors for when we break an arm or we have to get something cut out or that. But so, you know, but I am a breath worker primarily. That's been my focus, even as a monk, practicing meditation techniques for the 10 years. The meditation techniques were focused on the breath as the main vehicle. So my philosophy is my experience is very breath centric, and I think the breath is really the center, the focal point, the core of who we are physically, emotionally, and spiritually. So we're really looking at these 3 keys of transformation from a breathwork perspective. And so why are we talking this subject today? Well, transformation is really what I'm all about. I am your catalyst for transformation, but transformation, more importantly, is what the world is about, what your life is about, what you are here for. If you was to really boil down your purpose, do you want to know your purpose in life? Here's it. People have been spending millions of dollars trying to figure out their purpose. it boils down to this. Your purpose is to recover, remember, re-embody your essential nature as the one, as the divine, as God. But God, in its essential nature, is love. So your purpose is to re-embody your essential nature as love. How do you do that? By expressing love, by being love, by being aware of how love can be contributed to any environmental circumstance that you find yourself in. That's it. That's all you need to remember to do. Whether you're a janitor, whether you're the President of the United States, whether you're CEO of a big company, whether you're an artist, your purpose is still the same. Okay, but it requires transformation to get to that purpose. Transformation from where you are now, thinking, well, should I go into the healing arts? Should I leave my job in corporate America because it's so soulless? We're looking to transform our attitudes to get in touch with who we are as our essential nature. So, this evolution of consciousness is really what we're talking about. And the three keys to powerful transformation then, from a breathwork perspective, are things that we can do with our breath to really help assist that transformation. And just tuning in, Dave Howard, Gina from Las Vegas, yep, Charlie watching from Alaska, and Tammy. Tammy says hello from Vancouver, Canada. Looks like we got a lot of West Coast represent. West Coast represent. Anybody from the East here? Shout out if you are. Okay. So, what are these three keys then? Getting into, after we understand now why it's so important, specifically with regards to breathwork, these three keys will set you up to transform your experience from negative, stress, uptight, stuck, painful, emotional states where you feel like, geez, am I ever going to get through this? Is the world ever going to change? Is life ever going to look rosy? To more positive, more relaxed, more flowing, ultimately more pleasant and blissful states of being. And I would add then, looking back, where I'm not a Pollyanist, meaning I don't believe that life can just be la la la, it's so good out there forever. We do go through our ups and downs, but recognizing with these these keys to transformation, that when we do hit a lower spot, we can ride that lower spot with more ease and grace, with more emotional resilience, as again that teleseminar coming up will really dive into. It's really what we're talking about in essence, an emotional resilience, ability to be resilient, be flexible, to be able to go with the ups and downs and not feel like you're just thrown, you're like on a bucking bronco. It's more like you're on a smooth slide or something like that. Daryl, hello Daryl, brother Daryl, and welcome on. All right. So this is what we're really talking about. And so when we're talking about our breathing, I really, we're breathing with oxygen, right? Oxygen is what really the process of breathing is, to bring in oxygen, to remove carbon dioxide and other toxins. But oxygen, as you've heard me talk before, is laden with prana, life force energy, the energy of life itself that brings us to life, that makes us able to think, to feel, to move and act. Now, I also believe in the holographic nature of life, meaning that like a hologram, I've talked about this before, you got an image on the hologram, my beautiful face. You break that hologram into four pieces. You don't have four parts of my face now. You have four faces, four whole faces. You break those into another four pieces. Now you've got, each one will continue to represent the same image that the original piece did. So that when we're talking about holographic in life, any part can reveal more about the whole. And so the breath, it just so happens that the breath is very, just like we can, look at eyes, we call it iridology, right? And through observing the eyes, you can tell a lot about the whole. Foot reflexology, the same thing. Acupuncture. So the breath is just one of these tools, one of these roadmaps, essentially, to understanding us and our inner mechanisms at a deeper level. So this is what I'm focusing on. So what are these 3 keys, and what are they? If you've ever taken breathwork from me, you know that I describe the breath that we use with 3 words, 3 F words, not the naughty F words that you might hear out there, but 3 powerful and positive F words, and those are full, free, and flow. Full, free, flow. All right, this is these are the 3 keys to powerful transformation. We'll go into those in a deeper way. All right, so full, really, and remember, how we do anything is how we do everything. So the holographic nature, we're striving to breathe fully. This mechanism of taking oxygen into our body is really to bring our body to life. And if you're filling up the tank only a quarter full or half full, you've only got that much energy to express life with, right? So we're looking to fill up that tank each time to the maximum capacity to get the most energy that oxygen has. You know, oxygen is a catalyzing energy. I was just watching, as I mentioned, I was on RV tour yesterday, and we were by the fire last night, and watching the fire, you know, it's oxygen that gets in there. When the fire started to go down, we poked some holes in the coals at the bottom and all that so air could go through, and with more oxygen the flames came to life, because oxygen is catalyzing that physical or that chemical reaction where wood is transforming into the energy of heat and light. It's a magical process to watch fire. I think that's why we are so mesmerized by it since caveman times. Anyway, so when we're breathing in, and most people breathe at about 20% of their capacity. So really less than a quarter full tank of gas, whichever breath we take. And then you wonder why life feels so difficult, why it's such a chore to get anything done, why you don't have any energy at the end of the day. Why you're just so lethargic. It's because you're running with a tank that's only a fifth full, 20%. So as we learn to breathe more fully, we're bringing more oxygen into our body. That oxygen, basically every cell runs better on oxygen. So the more fully we can breathe with every breath we take, the more we're continually keeping that tank full, the more that oxygen gets to our body, is able to help the body transform. Transform meaning move that form forward and become better, become healthier on that physical level. Maria Palomino, hello. Love it. Love to hear that you're here with me too. Go, you embodied goddess. So full. Breathing in, getting the oxygen. So it's activating our cells. But then on a metaphorical level, think about how, again, the holographic nature of life. If we're breathing in 20% of our capacity, we're really saying like we're 80% disengaged from life itself. We're saying we're not sure we want to really jump in and be fully in life. And I'd have to ask you, here we are. This is, and I just did one last week, Embodied Spirituality, which is really about being present to where you are and finding your spiritual path, finding your enlightenment right where you are and moving forward with that. And part of that is what we're talking about here. By learning to breathe more fully, we are deciding to dive fully into the pool of life. Have you ever gone to a pool? We were by the lake, so I did this. I dipped my toe in, right? You're like, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll come into my ankles, and so you're only experiencing up to that much. Or do you run in and just cannonball, jump right into the pool, splash, gets everybody wet. Now you're fully immersed. You are in the experience of life, that pool of life, um, and that's it. Nobody can say that you're holding back anything, and that's really what's great is about breath work is that as it shows us a mirror of our greater self, it also can help us shift and change to transform our greater self. And this is what this topic is about, right? The 3 keys to powerful transformation. 1, by breathing fully, we automatically start to energetically align to be fully engaged in life, to be more enthusiastic. And did you know that word enthusiastic comes from entheos, which means in God? In God. We're enthusiastic. By being enthusiastic means we are in God. We are in our God state. We are in our higher self, and that is, that is the essential. What I just said, our essential nature, our God state. That's the purpose of life. All right. So breathing full is that first key. Second key, free. Free. Who doesn't want to be free, right? In fact, I would say the two sides of the coin of our nature is love and freedom. Love and freedom. Love is the the essential nature to be expressed. Freedom is our ability to just as a representation of the divine, we are as free as the divine is. So we're really focusing on getting into that aspect of freedom by learning to let go of the breath. And I always instruct us to try to do that through the exhale to begin with. You let go of that exhale, meaning you're not pushing it out with force and with effort, and we're not controlling it out, meaning keeping it metered, keeping ourselves in control of that. It's just letting it go. Basically, what we're doing is learning to let go of the breath and actually let the breath start breathing us. Now, in this breathwork world, we strive for a state of what's called activation. When you are activated, the breath starts breathing you. You're putting very little effort in the process or no effort at all, and yet it just is humming along. And what this, again, looking at what the part is telling us about the whole, our breath is our spirit. Our breath is our connection, the physical connection to actually the etheric nature of who we are. When the breath starts breathing ourselves, or let's say this conversely, when we are in control of the breath, what part of us is in control? It's our ego self, our controlling managerial self, which is the ego, which I'm not an ego basher. I don't think the ego is a bad thing, but the ego can get us into a lot of trouble. We have to learn to live with the ego. But in this case, the ego controlling the breath means the ego is directing the ship. When the breath starts breathing you, that's akin to the soul stepping in and becoming the one that's now in command, the captain of the ship. It's the soul and our soul nature and all of the thoughts and all of the realizations and all of the energies that come attracted around that soul nature become embodied within us. We start to express from that soul place rather than from the lower ego place. And we do this, once again, by practicing freedom. Freedom from control is ultimately where the breath starts breathing you. You're so relaxed that it's happening, and then your essential nature comes forth. So this is the backdoor approach. We're not striving to make it happen. You can't force your soul to come forward. You have to let go and gently open the space for it to then arise and emerge. So this is why working on freeing up the breath is the second most powerful tip for transformation. Okay, so we got in full, free, and we're working on flow. Flow is really with regards to the breath. Of course, it's the fluidity of breath. With regards to life, it's how we move and flow through life. People talk about the flow state. That's a very common concept. And, I'm in the flow. It all just means we're in that pocket, right? Again, we're in alignment. I believe when we're in flow, we're in alignment with our higher self. We're in alignment with our essential nature as the one, as love. And so as such, when you're in alignment, things flow. Because think about it, life has a way it's moving. And if you kind of connect with it and move along with it, it feels almost effortless. Doesn't mean you're not going to have rapids to go through and all that, but how you move through them, is in flow. Rather than when you're all in control, all in tension, then you hit those rapids, and then you're like and you're thrown out of the boat, and then you're like all angry and upset because things aren't going the way they're supposed to go. That's out of flow, right? So once again, flow of the breath really helps us align with the flow of life, and when we're talking about a fluid breath. By the way, hi Anne-Marie Havlik Tibbetts. Good to see you on. I haven't talked to you in ever and ever. All right, so with flow of the breath, we're talking about a circular breath pattern. So if you imagine a circle, if you look for the beginning of the circle, there is none, right? It's just, there's no beginning or end. It's simply continuous. And if there's movement around that circle, it's continuous. There's no place to pause there. It's like, inhale or exhale, inhale or exhale, inhale or exhale, right? We're going along, we're not pausing in between those inhales and exhales. Now what this does is a number of things. Again, flow, right? We're learning, we want to keep the circular connected breath going in a fairly rhythmic fashion, meaning that the rhythm stays consistent. And once again, we look at how we work with life when we're really in flow. It's like we're in this rhythm of life. Life is almost a dance, it's like we're responding to music. And it just kind of, I was walking down the street the other day and was listening to something and saw cars coming by, like looking at me, because I kind of had this, wiggle to my walk, I guess, because I was flowing with it, and I say, what about the music of life is coming at me, and I can either be out of sync with it and dance like a white guy, and I fully admit that's pretty much how I dance most of the time, or get in sync with it, and all of a sudden, everything just feels better when you're in that flow. So one of the things that the breath is doing is it's keeping us present. And why is this so vital? Because the only place life happens is in the present, right? We've talked about this in past Facebook Lives. Life doesn't happen in the future, even though we worry continuously about what's going to happen in the future. It never happens in the future. It's only happening now. It doesn't happen in the past. There was the past that happened at one present moment. Now that's become past. We can't really change anything by dwelling on that. The only place that we have active possibility is right here in the present moment. The other thing that we can do in the present moment, that only happens in the present moment, is our breathing, right? You can only breathe in the present. So if you're focused on this continuous flow of breath, meaning you're focused on your breath, the only place you can be focused on your breath is in the present. It keeps you present. And the present is where life is happening. So once again, you enter the flow state by becoming very present. You cannot be future. You cannot think about the future and be in the flow state. It takes you out. You cannot think about the past and be in the flow state. It takes you out. Only present. And some comments. Sheila is saying, I have forgotten about my breath and the power of oxygen. Well, that's glad you're tuning in, because that's what I'm here to remind you of and help you along that way. And if you want to get back into it, you and anybody, of course, this is what I do currently, sessions private sessions online until we can get back to face-to-face. And some group sessions online are coming here soon. And the one group session coming up, again, the Power of Emotional Resilience, next Wednesday the 25th, when I'm on, I will be guiding you through a breath session. So that one's free. So thanks, Sheila. Tammy saying, that's how I describe the flow. I am dancing to the rhythm of my life. Beautiful, Tammy. And I love it, because that's what I said too, right? And no, but that's it. Our life has a rhythm. Life has. I was once in a park, and I just was struck by a certain moment. All of a sudden, I could hear cars. It was like rush hour. The cars were going by. Something was honking. There was some animals making noise. All this had this sort of symphonic pulse to it. It sounded like the symphony of life, just for a very brief time. But and that's where, being present to it, I could feel, the pulse of life going on underneath. And then as I started to think about the future, it sort of dissolved and I lost it. That's why being present is so important. And the breath, focusing on the breath, keeps you present. All right. And then this is then you keep your breath flowing. It's allowing you to take a more fluid approach to life. So as I mentioned, we're still going to have challenges. We're still going to have to deal with COVID. We still got to deal with riots and things like that. But how we deal with them is not like frustration, pulling our hair out, like we can't deal with this anymore. We've got a much more fluid approach. We see the value. We see where we can help. We see where we can contribute. We see where we have to step back and accept where we can't contribute. And we're wise enough to know the difference. That's the St. Francis prayer. To let me change what I can, let me be serene where I can't, and let me have the wisdom to know the difference. So I'm not beating myself up when there's no possibility of me changing. All right, so flow. And those are the three keys. Full, with breath, full inhale, allows you to sort of fully embrace life. Free, nice and relaxed, so keeping a relaxed demeanor in life, helping to get in tune with the breath breathing you, meaning more in tune with that essential nature, which leads to flow, the fluidity of breath, the connected circular fashion of it, which leads to flow in life, the ability to move and traverse life in a graceful manner rather than a stilted, what's going on manner. All right. So what if you took these to heart? What if you practiced every day for 5 minutes, just this full free flowing pattern? You see that full, free, relax, and flow. It's just continuous movement. Just practice that for 5 minutes each day. What would happen? Life would transform from the inside out. It's a very gentle process, rather than sometimes we meet our transformation head on, and it takes some recovery to get past that transformation. But this is a very gentle process. Just doing this 5 minutes a day, meaning you'd be much more in alignment with life, meaning you wouldn't have to go out seeking external remedies. You wouldn't feel at odds with what do I do in this situation, but you become present, you become aware, you become energized, and you start getting, in your alignment with your higher self, downloads of what to do next, what is presenting itself for you to fully step into your essential nature as love and express that, which again, the purpose of life. So you wouldn't be looking for these externals, but you have the tools available to you to deal with any situation as it arises. And this is what I'm hoping for you. This is what I'm hoping for you, whether you go practice this on your own and try to figure it out, whether you want to get in touch with me, and please, like, share, post, reshare, message me, email me, go to my website, breathflow.com, and enter the contact form, get on my newsletter and get updates. Come to this Power Emotional Resilience thing if you want to work with me. Give me an email and we can see how I can either coach you along or take you through breath sessions. But this stuff is yours. This is what I love about it, is it's your breath, and after a while you learn how to navigate it on your own. And this is what I'm not a healer. I'm a healing guide, right? I'm here to help guide you to get on track with your healing, where you might not be fully on track yet, but you're the one who has to do your healing. And I'm here just to say, no, you're kind of not going, you shouldn't probably go that way, go this way. And that's what a guide does, right? A guide sort of reads the map, tells you when you're navigating in the right direction and when you're not. And I know the maps I've been using, and especially the map of the breath, are some of the most powerful for helping us navigate through life effectively. So with that, our Christian Minson saying namaste. Great to have you with me. Tune in next week for Facebook Live Friday.